Welcome back to our channel, where we share updates and untold stories about Catherine, Princess of Wales, and her royal family. Today, we bring you some news. The 15 most arrogant British royal family members ranked by the US will shock you. The British royal family's power, wealth, and magnificence have long attracted the globe. Behind the crowns and titles, numerous members have startled the public with surprising actions. They often exaggerate their status, occasionally straddling the boundary between authority and superiority. While some may surprise you, others may come as expected. Help us reveal the 15 most arrogant royals and identify who is in the lead. 15th, Princess Beatrice was born into royalty, but too far away to matter. It did not stop her from pursuing fame. Behind a kind appearance and politeness lies a person struggling with neglect. She was never content as an ornamental princess. Her persistent gleam showed her determination to remain unseen. Beatrice is vulnerable, real, and wants to be more than a princess. Unfortunately, that need may become a problem. During Prince William and Catherine's wedding, she faced criticism. She made a statement with her enormous spinning hat, which stood out in a scene of subtle elegance. As the world celebrated a royal romance, Beatrice's outlandish decision appeared purposeful, maybe even desperate, ignoring the day's gravity. It was more than the hat, it was taking attention inappropriately. In a tightly regulated family, the item symbolized her attempt to stand out. Although the assessment may seem harsh, it revealed her volatile nature. Perceptive Beatrice. Motivated and imperfect, she is multifaceted. She lacked the delicate balance of elegance and restraint required for royalty. Her determination to achieve overshadowed her modest dignity and shattered the carefully created persona she had built. This incident is just part of the story. Other items will amaze you. Number 14. Queen Mother Elizabeth. In pearls and delicate hues, the Queen Mother was intimidating. The lovely smile and soothing voice hid a sharp-witted and determined lady. The Queen Consort was also a master of persuasion and a skillful royal resilience architect. She understood power, both possession and orchestration. She meticulously planned every action and statement. Her charm was deceptive and her gaze was calculated. She was compassionate but velvety. She lived off public admiration. She believed monarchy was sacrosanct and inviolable and followed tradition. She was confident in her dominance. Her arrogance was especially visible after World War II, even when humility would have been better. She considered herself the defender of the past, rejecting contemporary ideas and practices throughout her daughter's time as queen. Resistance to modernity was her most haughty moment. She resisted change out of entitlement and conservatism. She frequently impeded development and failed to understand that the world had moved beyond her views. In her ritualistic environment, she expected others to follow. She demanded recognition as a royal matriarch in her latter years, even though her function was primarily ceremonial. Her life was both refined and acute. She lived the queenly role with fervor and even arrogance. Number 14. Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth exceeded the role of a monarch. She was an institution of peace, tradition, and purposeful aloofness. Obligation guided her, but self-discipline protected her. However, underneath the carefully chosen words and controlled demeanor lay a powerful lady. She reigned with steadfastness, not ostentation. Cosmos wrapped around her. Prime ministers came and went, wars started and stopped, and palace scandals raged, but she stayed. However, distance costs money. Her strength sometimes seemed aloof. Her peace may stand in the way. Even as the world begged for empathy, she was arrogant at her most stubborn times. The Queen's silence following Diana's death was startling. She stayed in the castle as the people grieved and sought sympathy. The public disclosure delay was a major mistake. It showed a lady so set in tradition that she refused to change with new feelings and desires. Her power, masked by calmness, appeared unyielding, disinterested, and perhaps even arrogant. The world wanted a mother who would weep alongside them, but instead she chose to uphold her royal duties. This was her usual behavior. Queen Elizabeth, I was there to endure, not console. She would finally answer, but her silence showed the monarch's ability to transcend popular opinion. Peace was tempered by a subtle opposition and a belief that the crown would not be persuaded. We regarded the Queen as a symbol and a resolute person then. 12. Peter Phillips. Peter Phillips typically balances privilege with privacy. However, his decisions sometimes showed subtle arrogance. Peter, the oldest grandson of Queen Elizabeth, I was noble but not royal. His participation in a Chinese milk had offended many as he exploited his royal heritage to sell it. Stylish clothing and British landmarks suggested that a royal affiliation was for sale. Despite having no title or job, the symbolism was crucial. This episode showed someone who manipulated public opinion for personal advantage. Peter's composure and sophistication convey confidence without unnecessary chatter. But beyond that front is a man who appears conscious of the perks of his royal pedigree, even if it just draws attention. It was a blatant, purposeful mistake that violated the monarchy's values. Despite living a quieter life than other royals, such occurrences provide valuable lessons. A subtle sense of superiority suggests that he is exempt from the rules. He smiles, talks carefully, and avoids conflict until he disagrees. His hesitancy shows that even the most modest monarch may feel entitled beneath a fitted suit. Peter Phillips demonstrated in that moment that monarchy can exist without crowns, akin to a business card. The unexpected royals are coming on the list and will shock you. 11. Prince Michael of Kent. Prince Michael of Kent, a cousin of Queen Elizabeth, has mainly avoided public notice, but embraced his title as a mark of status and access to power. He has lived between duty and pleasure. He was composed, smart, and aristocratic, seldom showing emotion. He embodied the capacity to surpass it all. Meanwhile, the carefully crafted facade conveyed a sense of entitlement. He glided through aristocratic circles, avoiding controversy until it broke. His exposure largely came from the discovery that he had been charging exorbitant access fees and exploiting his royal rank to negotiate with foreign countries like Russia. It felt dangerous and wrong. Senior royals exploiting their position for covert political or financial gain breached a boundary that many believed even lesser royals would refrain from. He clearly recognized the benefits of having a royal name among affluent and prominent people, despite his reluctance to publicity. It was subtle, yet bold. He responded deliberately and detachedly, reflecting his personality. No public apology showed contrition, simply the detachedness of someone who looked beyond common existence. That detachment mirrored hubris, the conviction that his aristocratic pedigree gave him permission to behave in ways others could not. For years, Prince Michael exuded quiet refinement. He practiced as if the constraints did not exist. The haughty, wealthy, and self-confident manner of Prince Edward was classic. Prince Edward, 10. Prince Edward never ruled the kingdom decisively. He lacked Charles' charisma and Diana's sympathy. He displayed controlled pride as king, stiff and nervous yet conscious of his pedigree. However, underneath that formality was somebody seeking something more than balcony gestures. He wanted to distinguish himself from royal duty via personal ambition. Things worsened then. To establish himself as a creative, not just a royal, Edward established his own television production firm. However, his royal ties were soon apparent. He leveraged exclusive footage, special access, and royal relationships for profit, not storytelling. That attitude was wrong. The public perceived him as someone pursuing royal accolades without taking responsibility. His approach was flawed and showed a misunderstanding of how privilege may help him. Upon his team entering Prince William's academic realm, the response was swift. It was obvious he overstepped. Edward's attempts to escape his upbringing only resulted in him feeling more trapped. His failures were subtle embarrassments caused by ambition without charm or direction. He looked too eager to show he was more than a ruler by pedigree. Each initiative he made strengthened that idea, among others. However, Edward remains calm, graceful, and vulnerable. He never left the stage or took the spotlight. He was arrogant because he believed the world owed him a chance to succeed. Zara Tindall, 9. Zara Tindall, known for her practicality and independence, has long been considered a more grounded royal. The Olympic champion and mother frequently shuns the spotlight to define herself. Zara, despite her strength and charisma, showed arrogance by parking in a handicapped place at an equestrian event. Despite not wearing a tiara, her behaviors conveyed entitlement like a crown. It was startling to see her car parked in an area designated for people with mobility difficulties, especially considering how physically fit and competitive she is in equestrian sports. The issue went beyond rule violation to encompass the consequences, a period when privilege trumped compassion. The action was careless or contemptuous. Zara may avoid publicity, but her dispute shows that status is frequently confidence, not power. Zara is vivacious and honest, known for her self-confidence and spontaneous laughter, yet she occasionally seems indifferent to public opinion. Because of her strong personality, she seemed to dismiss the criticism as if it were a minor inconvenience. Her attraction is her reluctance to apologize for being unique. This alone makes such times uncomfortable. Her actions contrasted with her public image as personable and friendly. Find more people on the list. 8th. Prince William. Being born into royalty is a significant burden, however. Prince William remains enigmatic, aloof, and remote. The polished facade of a committed family man and possible ruler hides a peaceful man. Silence shows arrogance. It is quieter than attention-seeking. William's reluctance to fully interact with the media while requiring their protection shows a person seeking autonomy. He is cautious, defensive, and manipulative with the media. The public observed this during the rising tensions involving Prince Harry. Harry and Meghan expressed their emotions, but William remained distant and duty-bound. As inquiries intensified, he remained silent. Despite criticism, he persisted. He depended on isolation, distance, and well-built barriers. It radiated contempt. He wanted to dodge responsibility and climb above the situation unchallenged. In the shadow of a crown not yet his, William has perfected the art of seeming responsible while being unreachable. His manner is refined yet remote. Though powerful, his dedication is measured. He exudes a sense of solitude akin to a crowned figure observing from a throne. His regal aloofness may lead to kingship, yet it also makes him enigmatic, a conundrum the people cannot fathom. Number 7. King Charles III. His controlled words and sophisticated demeanor conceal a strong intelligence from years of anticipating, plotting, and persisting in obscurity. Patience and frustration have strengthened him throughout life. His arrogance was most evident in his relationship with Camilla. It was daring and self-centered for him to want her, despite the ramifications for his public image. He lusted for Camilla and carefully orchestrated the situation with royal sanction. Love and entitlement drove them. Charles moved on with Camilla's resolve while the world mourned Princess Diana. Public suffering felt inconsequential, like his aims were drowning out others' sentiments. He clearly believed that he could change history to suit his criteria. He married her to show his dominance. He made her queen consort. He appeared to erase sorrow and encourage the universe to go on. The worst part is not the affair itself, but rather the belief that time will fix everything if he chooses to believe it. While flawed, Charles now wears the crown with dignity. Time has made him wise, if not kind. He has always wanted to be king, and now he leads with restraint. Despite his grin, he has always thought he was entitled to all he lost and took. 6.
Sarah, Duchess of York.
Sarah, Duchess of York, has always been a forceful, outspoken lady. Her presence was vibrant and inescapable. She was exuberant, honest, and behaved as if she could change the rules without consequence. She was vivacious and personable, in a regal kingdom at her finest. This trait occasionally bordered on recklessness. She wanted recognition on her terms, even if it meant blurring confidence and arrogance. When she was surreptitiously videotaped offering Prince Andrew access for money, her dishonesty was revealed. It was controversial and looked to violate public trust. The Duchess had no idea her title mattered. Her indifference to economics and authority was rude. Arrogantly, she smiled, as if she viewed this honorable intimacy as a waste of money. Sarah persisted despite the repercussions. She changed her name, published books, did interviews, and had a tenuous royal link. She kept acting like the rules were flexible when she broke them. She takes unusual satisfaction in her progress, seldom sorry for long periods and always seeking recognition. Her stubbornness has kept her from disappearing, but it also ensnares her in suspicion. Sarah never liked being on the royal periphery. Always she strove to turn controversy into strength. 5. Princess Anne. Princess Anne has never sought approval. She commands attention with a tremendous authority that awes and intimidates.
She is a steadfast princess who never capitulates and never curtsies until she wants to.
When Anne refused to curtsy to Princess Diana, her true nature was exposed. Anne views tradition as a choice, not a responsibility, and is arrogant, independent, and indifferent to society. Her honesty is well known.
She speaks with confidence and navigates procedures accurately.
It is both appreciative and unsettling. The unwillingness to curtsy made a statement. I yield to no one, especially not to someone who has married into the family. The motive was pride and rage, not envy. She has a cold, intentional blaze that burns constantly. Though laudable, this endurance breeds loneliness. Anne's arrogance is subtle and embedded in her voice, behavior, and reluctance to adopt a humble royal image. Her profession has garnered her respect, but her fury has occasionally overshadowed it. She is an indifferent princess who sometimes forgets that leadership, even in quiet, demands elegance. When faced with attention, Anne remains sharp, resolute, and stubborn, even when humility could have been beneficial. 4. Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew's arrogance and detachment are worrisome. The fact that he was born wealthy and nurtured without limits is obvious. The BBC intended to exonerate Prince Andrew by using his controversial interview to explain his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. However, it highlighted his most egotistical traits. He was so confident in his entitlement that he disregarded the possibility of embarrassment. He seemed arrogant, distant, and self-interested, not contemplative or repentant. As he talked, denial collapsed. Instead of caring about the victims or repenting for his past, he appeared preoccupied with self-defense. His responses and manner were bland. In his royal life, he dismissed serious accusations. He bizarrely claimed that he could not have committed a crime because he was at a pizza shop, which many found offensive. The exchange showed royal hubris at its height, the assumption that power protects and privilege shields. Prince Andrew seems more interested in repairing his reputation than in helping the Epstein victims. He was disconnected and unapologetic. That caused frustration. Arrogant. He believed that the world owed him insight instead of justice, and that his status as a prince exempted him from needing to provide explanations. Instead of a misunderstood noble, the world perceived him as a lower-ranking noble. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. 3. Meghan was inventive, contemporary, and vibrant when she joined the royal family. She looked like an actor and had a clear vision of her goals. Meghan wanted to change the norms and was clear about it. Her grin showed desire, and her posture demonstrated skill. Marriage brought her to the kingdom, where she tried to change it. Initially, people respected her for her resilience. She brought energy to the kingdom with her American, cosmopolitan, and resilient nature. However, confidence quickly turned to discontent.
She strongly disliked the tactics and chose her own.
The institution's opposition offended her deeply. Harry and she departed. However, the ensuing events shocked everyone. Her Oprah interview taught her how to portray herself sophisticated, passionate, and contentious. She described her anguish and torment in a well-curated setting for millions. A woman who wanted privacy yet spoke her frustrations on a famous platform was bold and paradoxical, critics said. They saw self-importance in the moment. Meghan's power is impressive yet intimidating. She believes in her voice, the truth, and the right to be heard, regardless of the consequences. The convincing conviction left little opportunity for reconsideration. She wanted fame that aligned with her criteria, which resulted in her being adored and envied. Her trip and the chaos around her continue. Meghan is independent and controls her story, whether she is a victim or a cause of conflict. These two are our hardest competitors. Queen Consort Camilla follows. Camilla seemed calm and controlled, but she was determined despite decades of public hatred. Her membership in the royal circle was not accidental. She pursued what she believed was hers.
She never apologized for her extra royal love.
Her inflexibility and tenacity made her a survivor and a target. People detected the lie in her constrained confidence, particularly when she supported Prince Charles's marriage to Diana. When hit with unfavorable news, she appeared to calm down and become more mature. However, this tranquility hid anxiety. Camilla knew she could never match Diana and didn't want to. Some saw her as real, others as distant. It was not her arguments that revealed the greatest hubris, but rather her silence following rejections. While Diana remained alone, desire whispered within the royal walls. Camilla slowly moved toward Charles, becoming queen consort. Her route defined her, with inquiry and unspoken ambition. Despite being unpopular and her efforts possibly being insufficient, she persevered with a pride that many misinterpreted as scorn. Camilla handles decades of history with grace. She carried her public image wounds like badges, staying true to herself. Resolute determination, not decency, fueled her success. First, Prince Harry. Prince Harry was once perceived as a troubled royal, with a kind heart, vivacious yet accessible, damaged but forgiven. People believed him innocent for years. However, stiffness developed with age. He grew more violent, saying his pain justified his actions. He stated he left the royal family for peace, isolation, and independence. After then, he kept highlighting his problems. He was certain he could change the rules. It includes truth and authority. His abandonment of royal responsibilities while retaining privileges showed arrogance. It involves power, position, and influence, not just titles. He wanted escape, not degeneration. The inconsistency deeply troubled many. Harry considered himself a victim of his upbringing and exploited the system he denounced. He moved to California for a vacation. Harry and Meghan built a brand around their royal status, which they claimed to have abandoned. The films, interviews, and exposed memoirs showed a desire for more recognition. Criticizing the monarchy while recognizing its position was his goal. He may still believe he is supporting a worthy cause, but his support is hubristic. His words are vehement and arrogant. Harry left the royal family and redefined himself as the story's misunderstood protagonist. He may have lost his once popular humility. Thanks for watching our video. Do these royals deserve their spot on the list? Please share your thoughts and farewell.